Hi everyone, my name is Josue Rodriguez and today we'll be talking about the application of process diagrams in industry. As we know, every manufacturing industry should know about their manufacturing process, since it allows them to know what are the deficits when they are working and what are the things that they can improve in the project. Well, I developed this project with my local bakery called Panificadora Genesis, which is a bakery that is close to my home, and I was able to be in the plants or in the kitchen and when the bread was processed. In order to follow the instructions of this project, I will be only showing the product or the item that they produce that will be called dinner roll bread, also known in Guatemala like pan francés. I will be presenting this topic or these different diagrams in a Google Meet how their production work. We will be checking the production of the Rolls Royce, better known as in Guatemala as pan francés. Okay, so I won't be talking about details since the time is short. So let's start checking on here. As we know, the circle in our diagram represent an action. The square in the diagram represent the quality or equality filter, and the circle inside the square means that is combined action, right? So as we know, we have to put all of the raw material first in the industrial blender. The industrial blender is something that they use in order to mix all of the raw materials. Then we turn on the machine. Then we add the rest of the raw materials. After that, we have to wait until the machine do its work. Does its work. Is something that we have to important that we have to say is that they do different types of bread while they work in this. So their production is they make a lot of items. So their production with this bread specifically, it is not like the most important. They have most important productions in there. So maybe sometimes the time will be more than usually in another bakeries do. Then we know. Then after they get the consistent dough, they check that everything is okay with that mixed, and they put that in the kneading machine. After putting that in the kneading machine, they just let the mix rest. They had to wait a lot in order for the mix to process in a correct way. After they let the mix rest, they put the mix to the refiner machine again, another 7.5 minutes in there. After that, they divide and shape the mix in the order to form it as a diner roll. Something important to say here is that maybe this could cause delays since the work that is made in here is by a human, right? To be specific, two people working here in order to make everything right. After they after they do that, the boss check the size of the portions to see if everything is right on there. They put the trays in the oven, and they just wait over for 10 minutes. After that, the final step in here is to distribute the product. Okay, so that was the operation diagram. Then we have the process flow diagram. As you know, the process flow diagram has another little icons that will help us to know the process. We have this triangle that is when the process starts. There will be the same steps in here. The only difference in here is that we have something that tell us, just checking if everything is right, something that tell us and the distance between the one step to another, that may cause a delay too. Also, let's talk about this little, just like as a D, as D as a dinosaur. That also means delays. As I told you before, this step was made by humans, so it depends on the person that is working on there. Then we see that they moved portions 1 meters away from the original station, and the final step is that they distribute their product. And here's a visual representation. Personally, this is my favorite one since it allows us to check all of the information that we talked before. We have the same steps in here, so I won't talk a lot about this one. See, it starts in here. They have their breakdown area where they work. This goes in here. They have this one. They have where this is where they use the machines. This is where they check if everything is right in here. This is when they shape the mass, the mix, and they just let it cool in here and in here in both processes. After that, as you can see, the distance is pretty long that they have to walk in there in order to go to the shape area, to the open area. After the open area, the process is easier since the only thing that they have to do is wait. Once the item is finished, they just take it to the cooling area to check if everything is fine under, if there aren't dinner rolls burnt or something like that. Then they just take it to the storage area and they distribute the item. Thank you so much for